Are other people responsible for you being triggered? Now, this is something that can go real left, as the young people would say, but my answer would be no. Other people are not responsible. But let's dig in and find out why. Welcome to the Black Man Black Health Podcast. We're in the car, so the car episodes are called Riding Shoddy with Coach Drew. I got this name from my boy. I like it. We can't say SHOTGUN because YouTube might take us down, and we love YouTube. So let's dig into this. I had a therapy session, and in the therapy session, I came out and I said what I wanted to start talking about, and I didn't realize what was happening, but I knew if I talked about it, me and the therapist would come up with some reasoning, right? She definitely came up with a lot of reasoning. I listened to how she got there, and then I came up to my reasoning. So what had happened was I had got a text. I got really triggered. I mean, I don't even know why I got this triggered. At first, I didn't know why. After I calmed down and I looked and I did some writing, I figured out why. But I got triggered. And what had happened was, when I got triggered, I literally saw myself acting out in a manner that is not Christ-like. Not Jesus-like. It was like Peter. If you guys know anything about the Bible, Peter was like the hot disciple, the one that would cut you. That's how I was reacting in my head. Now, kudos to me, because I didn't act that out. In the natural realm, or the real realm. I was able to just sit, wait, but I still felt a lot of anger. And I told my therapist about it, and she mentioned, and it changed the game, right? Of course, people are not responsible for our triggers, but she said, write down what triggers you so that you can know when those things happen, what you could do, because that's not who you are now. Blew me away. She said it so calm. It just came so simple for her. But I was like, wait, let me get my notebook. Are you telling me that I should write down what are the things that trigger me? Number one. Number two, what are the behaviors I now want to exhibit, that I'm on a healing journey and I'm realizing that is not me anymore? Just because the trigger happened, and just because maybe the first reaction was to go rogue, doesn't mean I need to do it, and it doesn't mean that that's me anymore. I'm working what I would say is a new muscle, or something uncomfortable. The reason why this was so big was I realized I was always thinking that healing was gonna mean I may get triggered, but I shouldn't feel any negative emotion come up. I shouldn't feel that I don't want to react in a negative way, and that's not always the case. This helped because, number one, as I'm writing down my triggers, I realize when do these triggers usually happen? Am I tired? Am I sick? Am I overwhelmed already that these things become triggers? Is it certain times of the year? For me, prior to knowing that, holidays were the worst, because holidays, I didn't know, always triggered lack, being overwhelmed, being ungrateful, broken promises, tension, and I didn't know that. So writing the triggers down helped me realize when these things happen, you don't have to act the way that you normally would act, because now you have some tools, you have some strategies, you have a different perspective now, and then on top of that, that's not who you are. So here's my advice, or my tips, just from my own journey, to any man watching this or woman. Number one, you have to be honest with what your triggers are, and a good way to do that is to think about the last few times that you got irritated, you got mad, you wanted to shut down, you wanted to isolate, and think, what was really happening? Is it what someone did, or was that the last straw? The person who triggered me on Sunday, it wasn't really them. It was more so I had just got through from being sick. I was tired. I had something prior happen that made me have to do some soul searching and digging. So I was like, I don't need anything else. I don't need anything else coming at me. And that person sent me a text. Now, I didn't respond to that person negatively, but in my head I did. So I would say, for my advice for you guys and tips for you guys, identify what the triggers are. Write them down. Think about the last few times you got mad. Maybe you got anxious. Maybe you shut down. Maybe you isolated. And then number two, find someone to talk about these things. I'm going to say this, and it sounds weird, in a warm place. I think if you can get into like a warm, like, library, coffee shop, wherever you want to do, and just let this person know, hey, I'm working through some stuff. I want to talk it out. Are you willing? A good friend would be good for that. Not someone who's just biased, but a good friend to help you realize, hey, this is how you usually handle things, but we're growing and we're moving on. This is in case you can't get to your therapist. I don't think you can see your therapist every day. You probably shouldn't, but that's not what we're talking about today. So I would say get with a friend that you can talk to. The third one is something that has been helping me, is realizing that this is a healing journey. It doesn't mean something's wrong with you. It also doesn't mean that you need to be doing like some deep diving every single day or every single week. Sometimes like that healing portion of the week or day, sometimes it leaves you drained. Sometimes you're just completely tired and you don't know how to recover from that. So I realized, like, on the healing journey, I'm like, why am I tired like that? I got enough sleep. Why am I drained? And my therapist let me know, look at the stuff you've been digging up, right? Yes, you're gonna be overcoming these things. You're gonna realize a lot different perspective on things and such. Those things are gonna happen, but you have to also realize that they do take away energy. I want to extend this invite. It's a free group. It's a free group that I'm forming for men who want to heal spiritually, physically, or mentally, or even all three. And what do I mean by heal? You want to be able to talk with other men. You want to be able to vent. You want to be able to grow. You want to be able to say, hey, today is a horrible day. I just need someone to give me some advice, some tips, because I feel like I'm losing it. We created this group because I know for a fact, if this was something that existed before I started therapy and it was offered, it would have been something that probably would have helped me on my healing journey tremendously. I always say men need other men to be on their healing journey with. You also need other men to be on the healing journey with, because you'll start to isolate and think you're the only person who's suffering. And it's not to minimize like your suffering against anybody else's. It's more so to encourage you to realize that there are other men who are healing too. And there may be tips that you can get from other men that you're just not going to get yourself. Isolation is one of the most dangerous things ever. And I believe that, I know David Goggins screams like, isolation and things like that. And people say, to elevate, you got to separate. I think we take those things out of context. I believe strongly that community helps you grow healthy. Community helps you fight back with other brothers, and community also helps you realize that, you're not crazy. When I first started going on a healing journey, I literally thought I was going crazy. I was like, something's always happening, something's always wrong. I'm the only person who's doing this. Why is anybody else feeling these same feelings? And with that, I really started to beat up on myself a lot. That's not healthy. That's not good. So I want to encourage you today, join the group. Just DM me if you're watching this on Instagram or whatever. If you're on YouTube, I'll put a link, or just go to if I can speak, www.drewcost unhealed.com, and you can just click the link to join the group. We do ask that you just be active if you can. We want to be able to shed light, help men out, and help us be great. I'm out of here, guys. Take care.